So I wanted to start tonight off with just a little story, and that is, I remember about 2 summers ago, I had just started an in-home Montessori preschool in my house. I'm the co-owner of a Montessori preschool in DC. At the time, my husband and I were location pastors at our church. We just had our 4th baby, and we had a rental property. We still have a rental property in DC. We had 2 renters in our Virginia house, and things were crazy. And I just remember stuff was like kind of out of control with a few of those different items, and I was so frustrated and so exhausted because I feel like I didn't have the time or the finances, which I thought I should have had, having all these different kind of business ventures going on. And you can put in the comments below if you've ever felt this way. Like, I learned at a pretty young age in college the benefits of having a business and creating passive income, blah, blah, blah. So I thought I was doing all the things that I was supposed to be doing, but I still did not have the time and financial freedom that I thought I should have had by this point in my life. So you can comment below if you have ever felt that way, if you can relate. So, that is when I had a phone call with a woman who is now my business coach, and she introduced me to this online business model. And I was doing the call with her. I was getting some coaching on my startup in-home Montessori preschool, this new business. And she shared with me some monetization strategies that I was kind of sitting on top of, that I was unaware of. And it was in the form of a business model of this online business model. And I remember almost getting angry, I guess, at the universe that no one had sat down and explained to me this business model before. Maybe this was only 1 summer ago, but I was in my mid-30s and I'd never even heard of this. I was like working my brains out on all these other different avenues, and there's this new business model out there that I had no idea. So guys, if we haven't met before, my name is Joy Wilder. I am a wife, a mom of 4 kids, ages 16 months to 8 years old. I am the co-owner and owner of 2 different businesses, former location pastor, and I am the founder of Brilliant Life. And under the Brilliant Life brand, we help entrepreneurs leverage the power of the internet to explode their business growth. So today we're going to talk about what the heck is an online business and why everyone should have one. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, first I want to clarify the difference between an online business and online marketing. So an online business, I would define online business as an information product or an expert-based business. And I'm not talking about e-commerce sales where you're selling a product on the internet. That's not an online business. I mean, that is an online business. That's not the type of online business I'm talking about. So I'm talking about an information or expert-based business. So examples of online businesses would be e-courses, group coaching, or membership sites. Now, online marketing is also incredibly valuable, and I do coach a lot of people on online marketing strategies, but that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. So I just want to make that clarification. Online marketing is when you use online strategies to market your business. And online marketing is super powerful, and it can be used for both expert-based or service-based businesses. So I use online marketing both for my online business, but I also use it for my brick and mortar service-based Montessori preschool business, and it has helped tremendously in both of those expert and service-based businesses. So again, today we're going to be talking about online business. So what the heck is an online business? You can comment below if you want to know. I'm about to tell you. Okay, so an online business is it's an information or expert-based business. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your knowledge on a subject and package it up in a way to get it out to other people. I actually have a deep-seated belief now that each person in the world actually has a moral obligation to take our experiences, our knowledge, and our giftings and get that message out into the world. Because I believe that every experience that you have walked through is something that can help other people, and that you can actually save people a lot of pain, a lot of time, and a lot of money by sharing your experiences, by sharing your knowledge of what you have learned, and a lot of heartache often. So I believe like that's what an online business is. You're packaging up your expertise, your information, you're sharing it with other people. Ideally, you should also be able to monetize that. I often hear the biggest objection of what I initially hear from people, because this is what I also thought when I initially was exposed to this business model, is that it's already out there. Like what do I know? Who am I that I have anything that the world needs? But I do believe that the world needs what you alone have to say. And it's already out there. I've looked at like tons of different expert-based, information-based products of me putting out. I've gone through many different iterations of ideas. You can pray for my husband. But I just want to encourage you with the idea, like, you do have unique experiences. And if you think about the city that you live in, you can just put in the comments below, how many Italian restaurants are in the city that you live in? I live in a pretty dense city. I have no idea. But if someone living in your city had a passion to open up an Italian restaurant, they wouldn't look around and say, oh, you know what, there's already 20 Italian restaurants in my city. I'm not going to open up an Italian restaurant. No, they wouldn't do that. They would probably, if they're passionate about it, they would probably go ahead and do that, because their Italian restaurant is going to have a unique flavor. I know that 6 years ago, my husband and I, we moved out to the Alexandria area. We moved out of DC to launch a second site for our church. Now, there were already a bunch of churches in Alexandria, but that didn't stop us, because we believe there's all different flavors of churches that are going to relate to different people, and that's a great thing, right? So it's the same. People are going to connect with you. They're going to connect with your voice. They're going to connect with your unique experiences, where they were not going to connect with people with a similar message, but they're just not going to connect with the communicator, the one that is delivering that message. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about the pros of the pros and cons, though I don't think there's a lot of cons, but I do want to, share with you the pros and cons, what I have taken away over my experience in this industry of having an online business. So also, this is going to really be in contrast to having a service-based business. So what are the pros and cons of having an online business, especially if you have any experience having a service-based business, meaning that you provide an actual product or service to other people? And I have a fair amount of service-based business. So I think the pros of having an online business are, one, it is hugely satisfying. You are changing people's lives at the deepest level. So you can put in the comments below if you have ever had a job or a leadership position where you didn't feel like you were impacting anybody's life, that what you were doing, showing up for work every day, was making no difference in the world, and how that made you feel. You get to share everything that you have learned and that you've walked through, and save people time and money and pain, and that is huge. That's just like hugely satisfying. So I think that is a tremendous benefit of having an online business. I think the second thing is you get to effectively share your message. So especially like being in ministry over the years, there's often lots of women that want to have coffee with me, and I would love to have coffee with 50 women a week, but I also have a husband and 4 kids and all these, whatever, we're all busy. That's just not realistic. So what I love about, I love to like maximize productivity, but what I love about the online business model is it gives you a way to effectively share your knowledge with large amounts of people and get your message out there in a way that really has not been available to to any generation until this generation. So how awesome is that? And then the third benefit is that I believe that the online business is an incredible business model. I think that it gives me, the time and financial freedom that business owners desire that I have not found in any other business model out there. You get to work from home. There's a very, very low upfront risk investment. My husband and I, years ago, we applied. We got pretty far along in opening up a Chick-fil-A franchise, and I can't remember what the upfront investment, but to open a franchise, it's usually anywhere from $25,000 to $125,000 to open up a franchise, and they're giving you a proven business model that's going to be successful. So there's very low risk upfront investment. There's very low overhead in an online business model. So you're not paying for a lease, you're not paying for equipment, you're not paying for a big staff. You can keep a very small team. It can just be you and maybe eventually you and a virtual assistant, and you can expand as you go, but it's not like the success of your business. It's not, if you're a business owner, and you can put in the comments below and you relate to this, if you are signing people's checks, there's a certain responsibility that comes along with that, and like another additional layer of stress if you're if you're an employer and you're a business owner. So you don't have that risk. What is also super awesome about this business model is you can very easily pivot, because and I have done this a few times just over the last few years, but pivoting in the online business world is very easy. You could be passionate about one thing, but maybe you have a kid and suddenly you become passionate about children, and you can just super easily pivot and tweak your message. You can add to it, you can build and expand upon it, but it's just very, very flexible. And probably one of the benefits that I love the most is that you can easily turn the business on and off depending on your life circumstances. So I would say for me, as an experienced business owner, one of my biggest pain points is when you are the owner of a business and something goes wrong in your business, it does not matter what is going on in your personal life. It doesn't matter if you're sick. It doesn't matter if all of your kids are sick. It doesn't matter if you're having problems in your marriage or problems in your finances, or if your family members are sick. It doesn't matter. When you're the owner of the business, it is like something explodes in the business and you have to take care of it, irregardless of what else is happening in your life. And sometimes that's just very exhausting, especially if you have a family. With a online expert-based business, you can just dial it back. Like the last few months, I've been able to focus on my Montessori preschool, because that's really still in the startup phases, and I haven't been doing loads and loads of my online business, and it's totally fine. It's not like our family's going into huge amounts of debt, or like I'm not paying an employee or anything. It's just, you can easily turn it off and turn it on depending on what's going on with your life circumstances. And then the last benefit, which I am all about passive income, is it gives you the ability to create passive income through evergreen products. Oh, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. The cons to an online expert-based, information product-based business is, I think that it can be confusing to know what to do, because there's a lot of advice out there. This is a newer business model, so there's a lot of people out there telling you that there's like a lot of, I call it shiny object syndrome. There's a lot of things that you should be doing, and it can be overwhelming to figure out where to start. I think that it can feel very challenging if you're starting and you don't have an audience, and it can take a little while to build an audience organically. And for achievers, which most entrepreneurs are achievers, that can be very frustrating. That can feel frustrating because it can just take a while to build an organic audience. And probably the third con, this isn't really totally, hey Jen, thanks for joining. This isn't totally a con, but it is just a reality that you are starting a business, right? Okay, so if you've never owned a business before, or if you're scared about owning a business, or you have owned a business, if you have owned a business before, then you kind of can know what I'm talking about, in that there is some instability. Well, this is the lowest risk business model, one of the lowest risk business models that I've seen. It's still, you are not working for the government. Someone is not giving you a paycheck. It is not necessarily a 9-to-5 job. And most importantly, no one is necessarily telling you exactly what to do. And that can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. I have had to work through that because no one's telling you what to do. There is no exact game plan. You're just kind of figuring it out as you go and what's going to be right for the people that you're serving. So there is that an instability. You are starting a business, so there's going to be a lot of upfront time and energy and possibly emotion invested into the business. Maybe not a lot of finances, but it's going to be a lot of time and energy. It requires you to put yourself out there. So for a lot of people, this requires sometimes some mindset work and some like confidence building, that people want to hear what you have to say. And, it just requires you to put yourself out there. And then the last thing is, it is going to require you to sell because you're starting a business, and any business that stays in business has to sell something. It has to make money. Statistically, depending on what statistic you're looking at, 90 to 95% of people hate selling. So you have to get over that. Now, I do have specific ways that I kind of always love to sell, but that's because I've never sold anything that I don't feel good about, and I believe in servant-based sales and servant-based sales strategy. I just believe that you're just serving people, you're just giving them something that's going to hugely benefit them. So, but the long and short of it is, you're starting a business, which means you are going to have to sell something. And if you hate selling, you're not alone in that. There are ways to overcome that, but you would have to overcome it. All right, so just in summary, I want to share, the 3 points of the benefits of online business is that it's hugely satisfying because you get to change people's and families' lives on some of the deepest levels there is. You can be effective in sharing the message that you alone have to share. And it's the only business model that I know of that delivers the time and the financial freedom that people desire, right? I mean, that from like my early 20s, that is what I've been going after, is passive income and time and financial freedom. Okay, so now I want to talk about the 3 types of online business. There's 3 types. I'm going to, in general, summarize 3 types of online businesses. There's e-courses, there's group coaching, and membership sites. Group courses, e-coaching, and membership sites. So e-courses, I can give you some examples of e-courses that I have taken. I've taken a Start Your Own Podcast course. I've taken a Facebook marketing for local businesses that have kid service products. I've taken a several $1,000 Facebook marketing course with funnels, with sales funnels. I've taken this fantastic positive parenting solutions e-course. There's like an e-course for so much stuff. So examples of e-courses that I have developed and am offering is, I have the Brilliant Life Business, which is a 12-week course where I really go in depth and come alongside you and teaching you how to leverage the power of the internet to explode your business growth. And then I have a mini course coming out soon, which is just kind of a taste of that broader course. Okay, so I want to talk to you about some of the pros and the cons of having an e-course. Some of the pros is you get to set it and forget it. I mean, you don't want to forget it, but what I mean by that is it is an evergreen product. So you create it once, and then you typically just have it online, and you are running traffic to sales for that, and it is creating essentially just straight up passive income for you. So it's evergreen. It's like writing a book or having the rights to a song, and for the rest of your life, it can be bringing in revenue from those sales. Typically, e-courses are more affordable than, say, group coaching. So it's at a more affordable price point. It's probably going to be your lower end offer, which means that it's going to get people into the habit of buying from you. And at the end of that e-course, maybe they would buy a more expensive product from you. I think the cons of e-courses is that it often goes unused. So if your heart is to serve people and impact their lives for the better, and like my heart is to help people start living their brilliant life today, that is not going to happen if they buy your e-course and it just sits on their computer or in some like cloud for the rest of their lives, right? Also, it's not going to, if people don't do the course, then they're not going to connect you to their life change, and then they're unlikely to buy your higher end or other products from you. Okay, so group coaching can be kind of similar to an e-course, but you're usually going through it together. So there's all different variations and levels of group coaching. But the pros to group coaching is that it creates community, which actually leads to results. So you are going to have accountability and encouragement typically in a group course model that you don't have on an e-course model. Also, you can really help change people's lives because often people will get stuck at some certain point along whatever they're learning about, and all they really need is for you, who with the expertise and the experience, to come in and like unstick them so they can continue on the journey of what they're trying to learn. People become a like-minded tribe, part of a like-minded tribe, which is going to enable you to build a movement. And I think, anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. But, psychologists say that humans' deepest need is for significance and belonging. Actually, in my positive parenting course, I learned this. And so in a group coaching course, often people will find their tribe. They'll find their significance and belongings of like-minded people. And that community and accountability is going to bring results in people's lives. And they're going to connect those results to your program, which will lead to referrals and future business purchases from those people. Also, for group coaching, you can charge a higher price because it's a much more high-touch program. Like, you are actually working with these people, real life, and what you have to offer is really valuable, so you're going to charge more for that. And I kind of think that it can be more fun depending on your personality. You're actually interacting with the end user. You're actually getting to see in real time how this is affecting and changing people's lives, and that's really fun. All right, I think the cons for group coaching is that it requires, obviously, this goes without saying, it requires more work on your end, because every time you have a group coaching session, you're there in real time. So it's not 100% passive income because you are doing something every time that you run your course. Now, you get to decide at what level you want to be present, if you want to be available over Voxer, or how much you're doing one-on-one coaching or strategy calls, whatever. So, and the other con can be a pro and a con, but group coaching is going to be probably a higher price point, which means especially if you're just starting out, it can be a little bit harder to sell a higher price point product if you don't have an audience that you already have a lot of trust with. Okay, so then the third online business model that I want to talk about is membership sites. So membership sites are also really great. You can have an ongoing monthly commitment and access. Hey, Kelly, thanks for joining. So it's an ongoing monthly commitment, and you have access to an online membership site. Okay, so examples of this is, I have a dear girlfriend. She has an online membership site called The Abbey, and it is for holy yoga instructors. How cool is that? Okay. I also have a woman that I know. She has a thing. It's called the Child Care Executives Automation Academy, and it's for home daycare owners. And this is an experienced, highly successful, like childcare business person. And she has this whole membership site where other home daycare business owners get all this coaching, and it's you pay a certain amount each month. All right, so the pros of a membership site is you have monthly residual income. And if you remember from what I said at the beginning, you are starting a business when you're starting an online business, and what can be, really trip people up is that doesn't mean that you have a consistent income. So a huge benefit of a membership site is you have monthly residual income. Depending on how active and how large the group is, it can offer many of the same benefits of group coaching, but they're not necessarily reliant on you for all of that. Like they're getting that, you're building your movement. They're getting that significance and belonging and accountability and encouragement, all from this membership site community, but they're not necessarily expecting direct one-on-one coaching from you. And another pro is it can be a bit of a lower price point initially. It's maybe just that cost is spread out over the year. So it can be more people can buy it. All right, so the cons, this is kind of controversial depending on who you ask. People debate over this, but the cons can be a membership site, the churn rate can be very, very high. There can be a high level of turnover and you can feel like you're constantly trying to refill that membership site. You are probably going to need a very large team or some team, or it's going to be time consuming for customer service because people ask for a lot of refunds, and you have to create a lot of content to fill that membership site up. Now there are ways to do this. I have other videos about batching and mega batching, but I personally feel like it still seems like a lot because especially when you're starting out, you're creating a lot of content, free content that you're putting out maybe via, like what I'm doing right now, via Facebook Lives or your podcast or whatever. And then you're also trying to create content for your membership site. So I feel like that can feel like a lot. So, all right, so to recap it, the 3 types of online businesses: e-courses, group coaching, and membership sites. Okay, guys, I believe in my heart that everyone should own an online business because it is the best way to obtain the time and financial freedom that we all want. So I would love for you guys to just comment below what was your biggest takeaway. And I just thank you guys for joining. Comment below what was your biggest takeaway. And then also I would encourage you to visit my website to join the wait list for my next, I have a next group coaching program coming up for Brilliant Life Business and that mini course. You can find out more about that, both of those at www.brilliantlifebusiness.com. And then at the end of this month, guys, I'm so excited. I'm going to be launching my Brilliant Life Show podcast. And I will be sharing more life and business strategies to help you start living your brilliant life today. So I would love your support. And what you could do is you could join my podcast launch team. You just go to joywilder.com/podcast and you just sign up for that. I have a little Facebook group that you'll be directed to. As a thank you, I will send you my top 11 apps that will change your life. I have a video tutorial and a really effective little handout for you for that. And really just joining the launch team just means you help spread the word. You're aware of when the podcast launches and that you will leave a review once it goes live. I think it's going to be October 24th, but don't quote me on that. If you join the team, then you'll get live